Well, I certainly wasn't expecting to make a video like this one because I just finished watching the State of Play for February 2025, hence the mess in my room. I've just come off stream, but there were so many things in that conference that I just kind of want to rave about, so I'm just making a small video to talk about them all, because there's some really cool stuff that got showcased, and from what I'm seeing online, not everyone loved the conference, so why not spread a little bit of positivity? I do have a Payday 3 video planned that I want to talk about the offline mode stuff, but it can wait a couple of days. I wanted to put this out first, and hopefully you guys like it, and if you do, make sure you click like and comment, because they really help with videos like this, especially ones that are no doubt going to be less popular than the Payday stuff. The more interactivity it gets, the more it supports it, and I'd really, really appreciate it. And also, very briefly, I want to thank the channel members, because the people who are channel members are most likely the ones who are probably watching videos like these. If you want to become a channel member for as little as £2 a month on YouTube, I will also apply this to Patreon soon, but don't do that just yet. I'm going to get the Patreon relaunched soon. But the channel memberships now, I'm going to offer early access to some videos whenever I can. Most likely the non-payday ones, the variety content. If you'd like to become a channel member, there are a few tier options if you want to support me, but if not, just watching is fine. But just thought I'd mention that. I'm planning on doing some small bits of early access, maybe 24 hours ahead, for some variety content coming forward. One of them I'm definitely going to be pushing out soon is my first play of Sonic 06, because it was a really fun stream and I wanted to make a video out of it. But either way, let's get into it. So, let me take you on a run through of the 10 different things I saw in the showcase that genuinely interested me to at least some degree. Let's start off right at the beginning with the biggest one, Sonic Racing Crossworlds, because that's not going to be a shock to anyone that was the one I was most intrigued by. We had ideas it might show up in this showcase, but a leak, especially last night, that I successfully avoided, managed to make sure that I didn't get spoiled any details, so when it did show up today, and I saw the return of Extreme Gear, the hoverboards from Sonic Riders, I literally jumped out of my seat almost. It was absolutely insane. I'm so glad to see them actually acknowledge Riders and incorporate it into what looks like the best racing game they could make in terms of concept so far. Obviously, you got to try it, and the closed test kicks off in like a week or two's time, or the registering for it does, so I'll keep an eye out on that. But just the idea that now it's any character with any vehicle, you can have Extreme Gear, cars, whatever it may be, and also just a really cool range of characters, including Sage from Sonic Frontiers. There might be a couple of moments I interject in this video from the stream, because I just think they're particularly funny, but here's my Sage reaction to noticing that, because that was only when I looked back over the trailer and noticed her, so just enjoy that. Oh, Metal Sonic! I didn't even notice Metal Sonic the first time I looked through. Oh my god! And you're gonna tell me I didn't notice Sage was an option? Hello? And it's like post-Final Horizon Sage. Do not understand. Some of you, I don't think you comprehend the hold that game has on me. But yeah, I just really like the look of that game. I'm a little bit sad that it doesn't actually have a release date yet. Obviously, it's coming in 2025, but whenever that will be, I guess we'll find out. Looks really fun, and I'm looking forward to it. Next up on the list was Split Fiction. Just want to bring this up because I saw it mentioned again, and as someone who really enjoyed A Way Out, but actually hasn't tried It Takes Two, that's probably a cardinal sin because I've heard amazing things about that. But this game just looks really, really fun. I like the ideas of these cooperative kind of couch co-op or online co-op to get player games that have this story where you have to play it with somebody else. You have to do it as a two-man right the way through. And also, just Josef Fares is just someone that I really, really like. The dude's really chill, and I just kind of like personalities in the gaming industry that you can really be invested in and don't really have any controversies or lying to you or anything like that. Like, we all love Todd Howard, but the man can stretch the truth a little bit sometimes. So it's just nice to have that person that you can tell is really passionate behind the project. That really helps sell things to me. So that looks really cool too. Also, Directive 8020, really intrigued by that one. And again, this is just me kind of getting into things that maybe I should have already played by this point, but again, might be a bit of a shock. I've not played Until Dawn or The Quarry. I think I own both of them in some way, shape, or form, so if anything, it encourages me to actually give them a blooming go. But I just like the look of these kind of horror-based games where it seems like anyone can die at any point. I think that's the whole gist of them, and I just thought the trailer for that looked really cool, so I wanted to acknowledge it here and just say that I thought it looked really, really cool, so I just wanted to share that. After that, the next thing that I saw was Lies of P Overture. Again, not played Lies of P, and this is a running theme. There's a few of these games where I'm looking going, this could be quite cool, so I'm quite excited by seeing that. Mainly because I've played Stellar Blade in the last year, which I talked about in my Best of 2024 video. Please go watch that if you haven't. But I said in that was probably my game of 2023. I only say probably because it wasn't a 10 out of 10 for me, but it was the best game that came out that year. I had my little critiques with it, but I had a lot of fun with that title. But Lies of P, looking at it, definitely felt very similar visually, soundtrack-wise, and combat-wise. I mean, it's Souls-like combat, so of course it's going to feel similar. But I just kind of saw saw the trailer for that, which seems like some kind of base game expansion, and maybe I'll check out Lies of P as well. If there's other games like that you think I should play, do let me know in the comments. The worst I can say is that I've already played it. I'm always open to ideas, even if the ones that maybe don't appeal to me too much. Sticking on the path of things I should have played by now but haven't, Days Gone is something I really do want to check out. I do like my zombie stuff. I'm a big Walking Dead fan. Even later seasons, they're good. Shut up. But I also really like Sam Witwer, the guy who plays Darth Maul in Star Wars, Starkiller, all that stuff. He's a very big Star Wars nerd. I've met the guy at Comic-Con. He's one of the loveliest people, and I really wanted to try this game because he was the lead, and I don't know why I've not done that. So to see them do the same thing as Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, re-releasing the game on next-gen consoles, or current-gen consoles now, with an optional $10 upgrade price and adding some extra things in, seems really cool. I don't know if I can pay that price, because I think I only own Days Gone as like a PlayStation Plus title, so I don't know if that's something that I can take advantage of, but either way, it's just another push for me to check out that game. I just thought it was really cool to mention that, because I do like this path they're going for at the minute with remasters, where for the games where you kind of question, did it need it, it's almost like they know you're going to say that and just go, right, for anyone who already owns it, it's dead cheap to upgrade, optional for you. And then that way, they can charge up for a better version for anyone who's not played it at the full price, and if you've already played it, you already have access to it, you only have to pay a little bit to upgrade it, and you don't have to at all if you don't care to. That's a really good remaster model, and I like that Sony's done that. From what I can see twice now, maybe they've done it more and I've not noticed, but it's a model I quite like, and I kind of hope they keep that up. Speaking of PlayStation Plus, though, one thing I really did not expect to see, and this is going to be some non-payday content coming in some way, shape, or form in the next couple of weeks, Lost Records Bloom and Rage is a new story game coming from Don't Nod, the creators of the original Life is Strange and Life is Strange 2, and it's going to be as part of PlayStation Plus's game catalog on, I think, extra and premium tiers, day one. It seems like they're trying to compete with Game Pass, having day one releases for new upcoming games, and I genuinely did not expect the next Life is Strange-like to be coming out for that platform as part of the catalogue, which means I'd have to pay a cent to get access to it. I mean, I was hoping I might be able to get a review code to talk about it, but if that doesn't happen now, I'll be quite happy just playing it the day it comes out. It's just very interesting to mention because I don't know if I've seen Sony do much of that recently, like day one launches for their game catalogue, and I'm intrigued to see if they do more of that going forward, because especially now Xbox has gone almost full publisher mode, and Sony now can really draw in the exclusive games, because it seems like everything that Microsoft had that was exclusive is going to be on PlayStation at some point or another, if it's not already. That if PlayStation start putting games on day one on their system, it's going to be a lot harder to back Xbox in the PlayStation Xbox debate, if that even still is a thing. I just think it's cool to see them doing that, and especially for a game I was already really interested in, that's really nice. I'm excited to give that a go. Also, I mentioned Stellar Blade earlier, but getting a PC release locked in for, I believe, June, as well as a new DLC crossing over with, I think it's Nikki Goddess of Victory, or Victory Goddess of Nikki, whatever it's called. I think it's a mobile gacha game that the developers of Stellar Blade Shift Up made before making Stellar Blade, so it was one of the most obvious crossovers I could have seen coming. I'm not surprised by it at all, but I really like the game, and I do like reasons to go back and check new things out, as long as it's not just a horny skin. As I said in the 2024 video, I appreciate what they're going for there. I'm not really the target audience for that, but I just enjoy the game itself, and I really need an excuse to replay it, so I think that DLC will be a good time to make that excuse and play through it again, because it's really fun, and if you're looking to get it on PC, it's worth the purchase, as long as the PC port ends up performing well, fingers crossed it does. It's a really fun time. I genuinely recommend it. It's so much fun to play. We've only got 3 things left to talk about, and I've done this intentionally because these are the 3 kind of like big things that I didn't really see coming or know much about, and I'm intrigued by all 3 of them. So first off, let's just get Tides of Annihilation out of the way, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but because I kind of have to own up to a very cringy but also kind of funny thing I did on stream. If you don't know, I have an uncanny ability to recognize voice actors' voices after I've heard a few lines, I heard them talking. I infamously did it with Eve's voice actress for Stellar Blade, being Rebecca Hansen, who was Althea in Baldur's Gate 3, but normally it takes me a little bit to recognize a voice. So it was rather funny on stream tonight that within 1 line of dialogue, about 9 words, I immediately recognized Jennifer English's voice, the voice of Shadowheart in Baldur's Gate 3. One of my favorite characters I've seen in a video game. I've met her a couple of times at Comic Cons because I love Shadowheart and love her. She's a lovely person, but I recognized her voice within 1 line, and I'm just going to show it on screen, whether it's embarrassing or not. Just enjoy this little chestnut.
No one knows how that world came into being.
That's Jennifer English's voice. So in case it's not obvious, voice actors that I recognise and people's work I'm familiar with is a big draw in games for me. That's something that does pull me in. But I also just generally found myself enjoying what the game looked like. Again, it's a similar kind of almost Souls-like combat looking blend like Stellar Blade, with that same kind of interesting visual style and soundtrack, and having Jennifer English lead it, I mean, that's just the perfect combination. That's fantastic to me. That has immediately drawn me in. The only sad thing is we don't have a release date. It's just a wish list thing, and apparently, according to Sony's blog, we'll know more in the coming months, so who knows? We'll see what happens there. Second to last, I want to talk about Saros, because this was one that we haven't seen any gameplay for. It's just an interesting new game that looks like it might be some kind of roguelite story thing, at least baked into the concept, the idea of coming back stronger and dying over and over again. Another voice actor that I like, Rahul Kohli, who's also just a general actor. I first saw him in iZombie, which puts a few years on me at this point. Never finished that show, really should. But I just really like the dude, and I've like seen him pop up in different things, and I just think he's a very charismatic actor, and seeing him lead what looks like quite an interesting game tonally wise. Gotta see some gameplay first, obviously. I say that with any game I'm intrigued by, I need to see actual gameplay before I can really feel hooked in the concept, but it looks interesting, and I don't want to discount that. I'm very, very intrigued by it. But finishing off, this is a game that I think I must have heard was in development, because I do follow some like gaming news sites and things and try to keep up to date with stuff. But Mindseye seems incredibly interesting, a game that's done by Leslie Benzies, who was a former project director on Rockstar, who I believe worked on San Andreas, among no doubt other games. I don't know every single one that he's worked on, but I really liked the look of Mindseye. It felt like a very interesting game that isn't entirely obvious whether it's like open world or not. Seems like it might be, but we actually got some like story cutscenes, some gameplay cutscenes, and it looks really, really interesting. I really like the look of it. It just pulled me in very quickly, and it was before I even realized properly what we were going for. I recognized the name and recognized he worked on GTA, but I wasn't sure if he was going to be like making a GTA-like game, but it looks very, very similar in like some of the nature of like the driving and stuff, so I wonder if he's taken a lot of that inspiration and put it into a different game. It wouldn't surprise me. It'd make perfect sense. But I'm very intrigued to see more about it. Got to do more research into that one, but that's just the first impressions. Coming in summer 2025, which is exciting. So yeah, I just wanted to share all my thoughts on everything that I'd seen in State of Play. There are obviously other games that were talked about there, but not necessarily things that interested me personally. I know there's a new Five Nights at Freddy's game. There's more trailers for the, or more footage, sorry, for the Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater remake thing that's happening. Not really stuff that interests me too much personally, but I can see people in my chat were getting quite excited about it. So I think the thing with these gaming conferences, and I said it a bit on stream, but it's very easy when there's not many games you're interested in to say that a showcase is bad, but realistically, there are a lot of games that appeal to different people, and I normally come out of these things thinking that they're at least good for me if there's one or two things I see. But the fact that I had to go back at the end of my stream, note down everything I thought was really cool, and then felt like making a video about it, I think that speaks volumes about how much I liked that conference. So I just wanted to wax lyrical about it for a little bit, so I hope you enjoyed my very late night waffle about some of the things in that showcase, because I'm really excited to see what comes from some of these games. If you want to see me cover any of these on the channel, please do let me know in the comment section below, as well as anything else you want to see me talk about. I've definitely been lacking in the last month or two, mainly because Payday 3 had the big lead up to Jacket, and like we said, we don't really know what else is coming in the future, beyond a couple of small bits, which I'm going to talk about one of those offline mode and whether or not it's coming in a video coming very soon. But apart from that, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you all very much for watching. I greatly, greatly appreciate it, and I will see you all very soon with a brand new video. Look after yourselves, stay safe, take care, see you in the next one.